Okay, so in this video, let's work on the missions panel component, whatever you want to call it. The page, or at least the area that shows you a list of missions, and when you click on each mission, it's supposed to, see the details of that mission and get buttons to, in web development they call it CTA. I'm not sure what to call it in gaming. So it's just a button where you click and start the mission. So the play button, let's call it that. So right now you click on missions, you have nothing. So let's work on that. First thing to do is go back to our interface folder and create a new widget. So use the widget blueprint, use the widget again, let's call it missions layout. The missions layout setup, let's create the actual layout. So I'm going to have a bunch of buttons on the right, which will be, I'm not sure if I'll have them on the right or left. Let's just test both. So those are the buttons that have the mission name and you click on. And when you click on them, you're going to have an area that shows you the mission details. So first things first, let's add a vertical box. Okay, vertical. No, horizontal. Horizontal box, plug it there. And then let's add going to need a size box. Just realize today that size box fixes almost everything. And after size box, I'll add a scroll box. So the scroll box will hold the missions, so you can scroll through all the missions that exist and select the one you want. The size box will hold the mission details. So the size box will fill, scroll box will be auto, and then inside the scroll box we want to add but first of all, let's resize this. No, actually wrap the size the scroll box with the size box, because these two will have dynamic data. So I'll go ahead and create the mission button. So that's just one single button that holds the details of the mission, which can be passed back to the mission layout. So another widget is a widget blueprint, user widget, mission. It's called single mission. That's what we call it here, property one. Yeah, single property. So single mission. And in here we only think I also need a size box. After wasting 6 hours looking for a way to automatically resize the components on size box, and that's what I'm going to use for the rest of my life. So in the size box, we're going to add a button, and in the button, we're going to add the name, a text name. So text field, put it right there. So name this to mission, and this one is going to be mission name. So because we want them on the right side, I'll go back to my fading materials and see if it's fading right to left. So instance, search for fading back on left. Select this, the image. Yeah, it's that. Then on the text, the mission name, let's give it a placeholder of mission name. And then to put that down, let's create a binding so that I can dynamically load the mission names. So promote this to variable and call it mission name. Right. So select all, press T to realign and compile. So now that we have the button, we want to be able to set the mission name. And the way we do that is, let me see, do I have a folder for that? Okay, so I'll create a new folder and call it data. And in here, we're going to create a new data set. So right click, go to miscellaneous, and search for data set right here. And let me call it I have something else already created for missions. I don't want, let me just call it mission. Oh, that's not the name, that's the class. I don't want, uh, I need primary, no, supposed to have a data right here. I think it pulls from something else. Let me see. Miscellaneous, data. I think it's, no, that's not it. Miscellaneous, data, table. No, that's not it. It's supposed to be data table, it's supposed to be empty, not pulling from anything else. Let me go back to data link. The class. I'm not sure why it's not giving me. Let me check the other one, what it goes from, because it's not supposed to be any source of anything. So blueprints, mission data, primary. Oh, okay. So go back to data. Let me just go to blueprint and search for primary. Okay, so this is what I need. And the empty data set doesn't have the option. You can only select. So yeah, select the primary data set if you don't want to pull from anything else. I think that's the main class. And select, then call it mission. So with that done, so open this, and I think it's variables that I want to add. It's not supposed to look like this though. And it's not supposed to look like this. So the previous one I created on 5.1, and I don't think 5.2 was changed anything, because this is what I expect. It's going to take some time to load. Oh, it actually, wow. Alright, so it's a bit different now. So usually you don't have the event graph. I don't think you even need it. It's supposed to be something empty like this, but with, you know, the variables and the default values. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure why they changed the interface. So let's just go back here and call the first variable name or mission name. And that's going to be either string, name, text. So I'm just going to pick name, compile. So for now, the only thing we need is a name. Oh wait, and an image. Then image. So I'll just call it a mission poster. It's going to be image. No, texture. Sorry, texture. Actually, let's set it to image. I now know how to use it then. And fetch image fit options. I don't want an object reference. It's supposed to be a structure. You can find it here. So let's just use texture, and then we'll use the texture itself to populate a different image. So usually image pops up as a structure that has dimensions, the texture, UV, and some other stuff. So we could always just set the texture, and then what else? The description, I think. The new variable description. Call it mission brief. Not that name. This is going to be string. Okay, just let me. For now, let's just work with those. So next thing we want to do is let's start by setting a dummy data instead of going through all the safety and process. So go back to your mission layer, the main one, and then create a new variable and call it missions. On the variable type, just select missions. So for each, you're going to find it. Oh, I see what I did wrong. It's supposed to be a structure, not this thing that I did here. Problem is now I don't even know which one I'm supposed to pick. Okay, so that's a class. Mention data, mention this. That's also a class. Yeah, that's also a class. What is the problem? Mission. No, just singular mission. So I'm not going to do that. Single mission. That's UMG. It's one of these two. Yeah, this data is not working as I expected it to do. So mission name is now. Mission seems to work just fine. Let's create a structure. So under data, let's create go back here. Blueprint, interface, macro, generation. Oh, here, structure. So go to missions and open it. Then this is exactly what I was looking for. I don't need this one now. Okay, so for a better naming, I'm not sure. I don't want to reuse mission structure already exists. Just give it the full name structure. So that should work. And so in this way, you're going to add the variables. So it's not a data asset, it's a structure. So let's call it mission name. The other one was mission. The other one was mission brief. And the last one was mission poster. Okay. So the name is just going to be type name, brief will be type string, and poster will be type texture. Scroll all the way down to T and select texture. There. So save, and then come back to your interface, widget name, and create a new variable. Let's call it dummy missions. So I'm assuming, or we're assuming that these are the missions you have, in your save game. So this is going to be mission structure, and this is what we need. And then once you do that, go to the details and replace this single item with an array. Then compile so that you can get the default options. Close this and maybe. Then add a bunch of missions. Let's call it Genesis. Will be the first mission brief. A moment, let me select the images first. This one there. Let me just generate random paragraphs on my browser on the side for a moment. So just this here. Okay, so that's the brief. I'll create another mission. Highest brief. Test that again. Then select a new image. That. Create a third mission. Arrival. Brief. And give it a name. Give it an image name. Scroll down to there. So let's just test it with these three actions. So to test it, we'll have to play, but before that, let's pass it to the main menu, the main layout. So we're just going to what's this interface UI. Okay, so go to main layout and also open the navigation because we're using different components. And in navigation, select the mission button, scroll all the way down to the events, select on clicked, and then copy this, paste it. This function is already created before. We'll go back to it and show you what it does. So this one's going to load the missions layout. This is it, and so get the main layout. Right. So the main layout, if you're wondering where we're getting it, it's from the actual main layout where once we load, let's see, what does this do? Okay. We don't need this. That was just something I was testing. So event pre-construct, I'm loading the navigation, which I'm not loading it. It's already inside the main layout. So you get the navigation layout, and then in the navigation layout you have a parameter called main layout, and it's of type the actual main layout. So that's where you set it, and set it to self because it's the widget itself. So with that done, you can use the navigation, the main layout inside navigation layout to call main layout. This is getting confusing. To call the main layout functions. So this function right here is in here. It's a simple function. It gets the size box. I think I should name that. This size box down here, and then empties it by clearing all the children. Then creates a new widget based off of the class you passed. In this case, missions layout. And then in the missions layout, in the size box, you're going to add the widget you created. So that will be the mission layout. So to have data in here, let's go back to event graph and then pre-construct. Let's get the dimensions for each, because it's an array. For each, for each, let's create a new widget. Create a new widget, and this one's going to be missions button. Okay, mission button, not single. So, single mission, single mission, right? And then leave down in place. It is in the single mission. Go set some parameters. So, wait, let me just open it. So it's got single mission here. I think it's already open somewhere here. Oh, we're actually in single mission. Well, I created this thing on the wrong widget. So let's cut it. Yes, delete this. Go back to the correct one. So that will be mission layout. It's not open. That's the problem. Missions layout. This one. Go through your graph and paste it right here. Just variable. Okay, let me compile and see if it will. Okay, so we have the data. So again, event pre-construct, get dimensions for each. For each loop, create the variable. And now create the widget, So create widget. And that's going to be single mission. Right, so the widget created, first you need to set a few variables that actually need two for this case. So that's mission name. And in this case, actually, only the mission name is needed. So set the mission name. Set mission name. animation name is going to be pulled from here. So just right click on this output array element and then split the structure. And it's supposed to give you the name right here. Connect it there. It's going to give you sort of a casting node. Compile. That's all we need for now, just to display dimensions. And then once that's done, add child. Add child. Let me first set this to a variable. This scroll box is variable. Then try it. And then just confirm something here on moment. Horizontal scroll box. Right. So I'm going to I think it's already omissions here. It's already a variable, so scroll box, get scroll box, and then add child. Okay, and the child is going to be this return value of the widget. Just to be safe, get used to clearing the widget, or at least the parent component before doing anything. So let's clear children right before we run the loop. Okay, and do some cleaning here, put this down here, put this down here, not this way. Select it, press Q. Then the rest could stay right there. So, okay, so we've added the button, we've changed the name. I think this one is okay, so that's the size box. Let's test it. Okay, play. Yeah, the musician. Then press P to load the menu. So nations. Oh, okay. So you see, we have these nations. I'm still going to have to unstyle the button and add the sounds. So let's do that. There will be this single mission. It's just one button. Let's start by creating a child. No, actually an instance. So I'll right click on this and create material instance. Then name it hover. So heading back on left hover. And what that's going to be is a much darker blue this side. So it's already dark enough. For this trend. Now that's better. For the gradient. No, doesn't change anything. Go down here, the blue strand. Oh, right. Gradient shift. Yeah, let's keep it that way. Obviously, these are not the final materials. I'm going to have to change this later on. So with that material selected, go to hover and set it as the image. Then go to press and set it as the image. Then we're going to change the profile to box for all the steps. So that way, and then search for sound. And here I have, you can use whatever sounds you have, but the sound that I'm using that came with, I think it came with the engine, so click on the button. You should have this. And the other one comes with the ultra dynamic blueprint. Yeah, ultra dynamic sky and weather. So if you have it, you could use it. It's rain heat. So I know it wasn't meant for a button, but we tested it and it works perfectly fine. Nation. Right, and the colors also a bit different. It's purple, I think it matches. again, I'm going to have to change everything here later on. So let's add some spacing. So go to animation, and on the bottom, let's set for padding and give it vertical padding. So that will be top and bottom. So top, oh, 5, just 5, bottom 5. Okay, just that again. Yeah, that was for me. Maybe you don't need that much space. I've seen interface that only add a line to show you where the button starts and ends, but this was for me. Okay, yeah, for now let's leave it at that and start working on the mission details. So let's go back to UI. Right click, user interface, widget blueprint. Actually, I don't think we need an extra widget for that. It's only, I think, 3 or 4 elements, so that should be fine. Another point of components is to reduce the amount of these elements having here. So if it's not going to affect it, let's just go to the designer in sizebox. Seeing how we don't need it now, let's replace it with uh, vertical box. So replace with vertical box. At the top, we're going to need an image, and to make sure the image is not stretched, let's use a scale box. So the scale box, as its name suggests, helps you scale your images. So first of all, set it to fill because you want it to cover, all available space. So that's scale box, and in the scale box, you're going to get an image, put it right there. And for this image, on the brush, let's click on bind, create binding, compile, save, and then promote this to variable and call it mission poster. Okay, that's done. Next will be the mission name. So first we name this to mission poster. Names will be taken. Let's call it poster. Okay, vertical box again. Let's look for text. Put it right there. And this one's going to be name. I'll create a binding for that also. Oh, wait, first go back to the scale box. Make sure this thing is scaled correctly. So for me, I usually select scale to fill. And then go to the image and set center. But depending on the image you want, you may want it center bottom, center top. The way, just play around and just, first of all, let me just show you something. Image. Also, I can't change it now, seeing how we have, the binding. So it's just white. So let's first set the image, then we'll get back to it. The text, going to give it a dummy name, and create a binding for that. Promote this to variable and call it mission name. Okay. Then create a new text and call it in the virtual box. Let's call it mission brief. So brief, then brief. And because this one is going to have a bunch of words, remember to have the text. So drop, auto up, and compile. Then go back to its content and create a binding also, and promote this to variable. Let's call it mission brief. Rename this to give it the spacing. Just for uniformity. Okay, so that's done. What else? I'll come back and set the buttons later on. And now that we have the mission layout and other stuff, let's go back to graph, the event graph, and I'm supposed to set primary. Now, actually, when you click on this, so this is going to be a problem. I've already broken this. I think I can get it manually. Let me see. Find item. Oh, it's not going to work. Get. Copy. Also. Oh wow. But I don't want to do double out of this. So let me just remove this node and this node. Put it right there. Now reconnect these. And so instead of that, we're just going to go back to this single mission and create a new variable and call it mission. Let's call it active mission just for this button. And that's going to be mission start. Replace it with single. Then on event construct, get this, get active mission split start. Now just right click on it and split. So with that split, you can now set the name here. Set mission. Just drag it there, select set, connect those two, and do it that way. And so to get this mission, yeah, let's go back to the main mission layout, this one, and drag here set active mission to recombine this first. So it is recombined, set it that way, and connect this here. Okay, so first let me confirm they're still working. They're not broken anything. Missions, yes, yes, it works. Alright, so that's done. Let's go here. Another thing I want to do is on the single mission, add a reference of the name of the missions layout. So just create a new variable, call it missions layout, and on the type, just look for missions layout. Click on it to get the object reference. With that done, go back to the missions layout and also set the missions layout. So set missions layout. Yeah. And missions layout is going to be this widget, so just get served and connect it right there. That's supposed to be fine. That's done. Okay, so let's go back to the single mission and start setting some variables. So first of all, go back to your button and scroll down to events, then select on click, and drag this out here. Now, first of all, get the mission layout, get, and start setting the variables. So one was name. So set mission name. You're also going to set brief, set mission brief, and you're also going to set image. Oh, poster. Set poster. Break this to a split the structure. So this is going there, this is going there, and this one's going here. So this is what I meant when I said texture. So you're going to set another texture actually instead of the entire image. So let's get the active mission now that it's set. Get active mission. Let's get poster. Oh, okay, just split it. Split the structure. Connect poster down here. Connect brief here, and connect name up there. So okay, starting to get a bit dirty. Put this up here. Resize them. Then send this down. Drag this up. And put this here. And one here. Okay, compile. Let's see what this does. Play the conventions. Okay, so it works. It works. What next? So let's start resizing, changing the fonts, changing the color, adding a background to make sure the text is visible, that sort of stuff. So exit, go back to mission layout. And then let me copy my text again and brief. I already have gotten. So I think I could just set default. So brief, default, there, and name, default, got it. Then okay, and poster does not have a default mission. Oh, mission poster. Default. Open the brush and let's select an image. And just find an image. Quick. Yeah. Images. Right here. The whole thing. No. No. Font. No. Properties. Status garage. Then come here and set it. So that should give me a way to test this. And no, it doesn't work. It does not work. Uh-huh. I'm going to resize the brief to fill there. And then I already imported fonts. So again, to import fonts, if you have the TTF files, just drag it and drop it here. Once you do that, it'll give you an option to import as font. So once it, after importing, it's going to give you two files, a font face and a font. Select the font. With your text selected, go to font family, just click on that. Or you could also just search by name if you remember the name. So let me do that to this one also, font family. I want the name to be larger than the brief, so I'll reduce the brief font to about, let's see, 10, no, 15. And I forgot to add a button, so button, while we still have the font, let me go back to this information button, select the name and set the font. Just so I don't forget. Okay, so let's go back to missions layout. In the button, call this play button, and then search for text. Add it there. This one does not need a binding, just the word play, set the font, and change the backgrounds. So we already have this button here that has these textures. So select it, go back to mission layout with the button selected on normal. I'll select the normal texture. Then I'll take the hover texture and select the button again. And no, sorry. Because this button is going to be more on the right. Let's actually make it visible. So let me just use a color instead of a transparent texture. So remove that. Search for background. And here I'm going to select a blue. Not too blue. Something dark. There. Then so go back to hover and pressed, and on the tint, I think I'm going to that should work. Then let me just copy the hex and use the same color on wool, the same color on crest. Just there. Okay. That was not what I was going for. Crest, thank you. Okay. So first, paste it on the hex. And okay. With that done, let's set the sounds again. Sound. This one is clicked. Click on that one. This one is rain. Hit. Then hit one. Done. I don't want it to go all the way to the end, so let me set start and add some padding. That's going to be now 4 to, let me change this one to 10 actually, that, and change this one also to 30. Oh, 50, because we pattern. I got done. Go back to the button. I forgot this step. Set this one to box. It will remove the border. So once you remove, set it to box, go to pressed, box, and those hover and go to pressed and select box. Okay, compile, save. There's some I miss. The top paddings for the text. I'll take them to 10. 10 for that, 10 for that. Go back here, still don't have a background, so the text is not visible. So, okay, nations, that's almost it. For the nation brief, you're obviously not going to use this much text, but just in case, let me show you how to fix the overlapping text. Go back to missions layout, select the missions text, mission brief, and then crop with scroll box. And I think that should be set it to fill. That should fix it, hopefully. Leaving the missions. Oh, okay. So now you can scroll through. So our background is in order. And go back to the missions layout. This is a virtual box. I'm going to wrap it with a canvas. So wrap it with a canvas panel, and in the canvas panel, you're going to want to precise this. So canvas okay. The virtual box, set anchor to full and offsets to 0 on all sides. Back to where it's supposed to be. Then within the canvas, let's add a scale box again. Yeah, just add a scale box, or place it with image. Delete this, just add an image directly, because I'm not going to use a normal image that you won't want to stretch or squeeze. I'm going to use a texture. So I have a good texture here, fading background top. Go here, set the image brush to that. Then set the anchors to full and offsets to 0, 0. There. And that means that we're going to have to change the text color. So I'll stand the button and get the background color. Going to copy the color. Go back to this one, the text, and find content now appearance. Paste the color there. And go back to brief also. Appearance, paste the color. Paste. While we're here, let me see if we can add a padding here. Suppose that. I'll give this vertical box an offset left and right of about 10 and 10. Then with that done, let me now, which one should I? So I'm going to do some padding on the name. That's supposed to be 10 vertical, so that's going to be 10 top and 10 bottom. And then leave the brief, go to the bottom, and do the same. So 10 up and down. Okay, compile. That should give us some spacing. Just a little bit of spacing. Dimensions. Not much spacing, but at least the button is now not touching the end of the screen. And these two, I'm not sure if you will notice the spacing. But at least now we can read. Well, I can read the font. The font's not the best. But then again, let's be honest, no one reads these things in games. So arrival. Okay. So of course the images. I don't know why the other. Oh, that's the background image. Oh, that's a problem. You should have it in such a manner that the background and the foreground do not clash with each other. So either increase increase the opacity of your texture to permanently hide it. You could just use the color black, or you know, for me, the blue that I'm working on. Let me see if this one's fine. This one's fine. On the next video, let's go through the say stats. When you have property which looks like shape and nations. So we could work on vehicles. I'll keep stats, nations, and maps to the last. Map, I'm pretty sure map is going to be complex. This word bogey means a group, a gang, or your homies. So it's sort of how I guess GTA has crews, but I'm not sure how well people use those. Most players just play solo in it. But that's we could work on this next. And it's just a list of players you play with, your friends. So it should be it for missions. It's simple. Don't really think I need. I could add an extra button here for bookmarks or something, and then I'm going to add a bunch of icons up here to show you main missions, side missions, just a bunch of jobs which are not side missions, also not main missions, and maybe achievements. Although achievements will be in stats, so we'll go through these in a future video. Could be tomorrow, could be today, after a few hours. Thanks for watching. Let's meet again when we do.